Welcome to Live Action Star Wars. I'm James.
I'm Ralph.
And today we are going to be talking about the young Han Solo audition tapes. This was a sketch or a series of sketches shown on Conan O'Brien about 6 years ago, it looks like. And they're all up on
The
YouTube.
Comic-Con show.
Oh, was that where they premiered them?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, I wasn't aware. I thought maybe they were just shown on that episode of Conan or something. But
yeah,
Conan. Doing them at Comic-Con's definitely a better option for it.
Yeah. It kind of ties in. Let's say, before we get into it, let's say hi.
Yeah. Let's say hi to everyone, because our regular lovely people are here. Sarah is here, Jeremy Kelly's here, and Lucha Johnny is here, as well as our very favourite people at StreamYard, who are always here and watching and enjoying.
Stevie just yelled from the other room.
Stevie's here as well.
Hey, I just want to start off, speaking of being here, for those of you that watch Data Link on YouTube, we are not going to be here. We're not going to be here next week for a Data Link episode. Instead, we will be doing an episode of Invincipod.
Yes.
Which is a completely different show than this. That's where we cover the Prime show Invincible, based on the comic book by Robert Kirkman, which we both absolutely adore. It's the show that made us do this.
Yeah, this is technically the spin-off of that show. Yeah.
So we're going to be doing an episode over there. Do I have a banner for? I do have a banner for that.
Hey.
At Invincipod. So if you go to Invincipod on YouTube, you'll find us there next week at the same time that we normally do Data Link.
With the same format as you're used to with Data. It'll be essentially a Data Link for Invincipod. But
and if you haven't watched Invincible on Prime Video, you should have plenty of time if you want. I mean, we're going to talk about the show. We're
going to talk about the show. We're going to talk about like the teaser trailer for season 2, which season 2 isn't coming out until, like, by the sounds of it, the end of the year. But you've got plenty of time if you don't want to watch all of season 1. I don't think there's much in this teaser that will spoil season 1.
No.
So if you don't want to binge it all in a week, that's fine. But guys, if you're enjoying watching this and you're enjoying Star Wars, go and watch Invincible. You've got time to read all of Invincible as well in that time. But like, that is a bigger commitment. There's like 150, 160 issues. 144 issues of Invincible. So it's a bigger commitment, but it's worth the ride. But there's 8 episodes of the show, so you can go and watch it.
Yeah, and they're like an hour. They're hour episodes.
Yeah.
So
that's great.
But I mean, listen, dude, like what Kirkman does, like I didn't watch Walking Dead. I read Walking Dead
quite early.
I read through the first 11 trades.
Yep.
And then I was like, as soon as the show started, I watched the first season. I'm like, I can't do this anymore.
Yeah.
That's too much. And I stopped reading the book. I don't know how it's going over there.
I don't know. I stopped reading the book a long time ago. I think we've had this discussion on an old Invincipod. That again, one of those other things that Ralph and James sort of sync up with things. We just both seem to drop off a book the same sort of time, I think, if I remember rightly. But it's been so long. Nothing against it. I'm glad for people to enjoy it, but I was done with it. I was over it.
But Invincible is like
so good.
Probably my 3rd favorite superhero book of all time. It's so fun.
Superhero books, it's way up there. It's easily top 3. Probably my favorite.
I mean, Madman, Green Lantern, and Invincible are like my dudes.
Yeah. And so you got to be excited about the Green Lantern or the Lanterns announcement.
Okay, really quick. We
got time.
I was fucking around when I was like, we're doing data Invincilink about lanterns. If it's because I'm thinking I'm gonna do what I did with Mandalorian season 1 and 2.
Yeah. That's cool.
On my Patreon, and just do a mini series with different guests every time.
Yeah.
We'll see. I don't know if I could find. I don't know how long the season for lanterns is going to be, and I'm sure it's going to be
when it's coming. Yeah, I was going to say
I'll believe it when I see it. They've been talking about a Green Lantern HBO Max series since like 2018. I don't know if it's going to happen.
I think that's my feeling with all of the DCU stuff. I'm just like, cool, like prove it.
Yeah.
Like prove it to me that it's going to be good. Prove it to me that it's all going to happen. Like, Warner Brothers has got a lot to answer for at the moment, and so
I trust James Gunn more.
I trust James Gunn more than I trust anyone else, but he's running that side of things, but they still have big corporate overlords to do. But still, rather that than the Snyderverse. But we'll, yeah.
Can't wait for those guys to go away. Those guys fucking they're always like fire James Gunn is trending again. Fire James Gunn is trending again. And it's like,
dude, that's your small
people.
circle. Yeah.
Enjoy.
Yeah. If as long as they're not causing any shit, they can be happy in their own or angry in their own little corner of the internet. That's fine. Whatever.
Yeah.
Star Wars fans have the equivalent, so whatever.
You know who doesn't? Invincible fans.
Not yet.
I've never seen anybody bitch about Invincible. Dude, like the amount of people who have like Invincible reactions, it's everybody loves it.
Yeah, it's
everybody
great.
Loves it.
So if you haven't checked out Invincible yet, go and check that out. And then next Wednesday afternoon, we will be doing Invincipod for the first time in 2 years.
2 years.
It's crazy.
And just because we're just waiting.
Yeah.
It looks like we're waiting almost another year because it says more or less that it's going to come at the end of 2023.
But we know that there's a season 2 and a season 3 in production, so hopefully the wait between 2 and 3 won't be as bad. We will see.
I mean, we're kind of hoping it falls between some Star Wars shows.
Yeah, there'll be a gap somewhere back there at the end of the year.
Because there could be if Amazon does what they did last time and release 3 at once.
It's their general release model.
We'll do 4 episodes in 1 week, unless it's a data link episode. Then we'll probably skip that one. But it'll be like that week we did Obi-Wan.
Oh yeah. We did bang bang bang. We did what was it?
3 days in a row.
Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, or something. Yeah. We'll get it done. We'll get it all done. Speaking of other data links, I've got some stuff. I've got some ideas for data links coming up. So a couple of weeks ago, a few data links ago, we took one off because we were like, let's just have a break. Let's have a rest week. We've had other stuff going on. But
the rest week kind of fucked me up because I'm like, I miss James. It feels like I haven't recorded with him in forever. It was weird.
Yeah, absolutely. It was exactly the same. So I've in the meantime, I've thought of a few things. We've got a few people that we might be able to get on and have a chat about. I've got a few ideas for when we can't. I've got a few ideas for ones that we could technically pre-record and release if either of us aren't going to be about. So
I didn't even think about that. We can do non-live shows. We used to do non-live shows.
Yeah. I've got some ideas though, and you and I will chat about that off air. But I think it should be pretty fun. Cool. I think it'd be.
And if anybody in the chat has
a fun
any
thing
ideas
that could be semi-recurring in data links when we don't have a set thing to do.
I kind of have. I think I've mentioned this before. Do we have any Star Wars shows coming out in the summertime?
I mean, almost certainly.
Probably, right?
I think Ahsoka?
I mean, like, is that summer?
I think so. They haven't announced yet, but I would say. I think the sort of the schedule is it might be sort of springtime, but then when's Skeleton Crew coming? We don't know. We don't know any of it yet.
Yeah. Okay. How about Star Wars food cooking? There's someone we follow on Twitter and Instagram called Blue Milk Recipes or something like that. Love to have her on.
I'd love to try out some of those things. Yeah, we could
that's a perfect.
Yeah, perfect data link.
Yeah.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Another data link that we'll have coming up at some point, probably in April, is I got my Celebration tickets. So I already had my Monday ticket locked in. I don't know what's going on with Celebration tickets this year. It's almost like that first initial sale that they did back in June, July didn't actually happen, and it just started listing it as sold out because everyone seemed to be getting tickets this last week. And they're still available. So anyone in the UK or anyone who wants to fly over who wants to come to Celebration, as of yesterday at least, all 4 days are still available. They're doing it Friday through Monday because it's the bank holiday Easter weekend. And Ed and I, friend of the show, Ed and I are going to be there Sunday, Monday.
Friend of the show.
I mean,
he did pick my least favorite subject matter to cover on his first episode.
Yeah, I mean, his picks are terrible, but as a person, he's fine. So we'll be there. We would love to hang out with you guys. There's potentially someone, I don't want to call them out. But you know, some people that have been on this show are also potentially coming as well. So we might be going for ice cream, and that would be awesome.
Cool. Jeremy Kelly says if you do non-live shows, you got to pretend like you're responding to the chat. I think StreamYard will always be there.
StreamYard will always be there, and we know that you guys would have been there, so we can make reference to you guys. I'm sure we can figure it out. Yeah. This almost feels like a Data Link episode because this. I mean, what we're talking about is only 6 minutes and 11 seconds long. So
yeah,
it's not like we need to worry about it too much.
So I put it on this morning.
Yeah.
Woke up, went in the front room, put it on, watched it, and then right after Stevie was like, "Oh wait, you got to record today." She's like, I thought you just had a hankering to put this on. Like, no, this is what we're doing, which is nice.
Yeah, it is nice when you could just throw something on. Like I've been doing so much. I'm starting my degree, and I've been doing so much stuff with that recently. Like every bit of free time that I've had when I've been at home, I've just been up here doing that. And so it's been nice today, just be like, I'm doing the podcast in a couple of hours. I'm not going to do anything today. I'm not going to do any like homework essentially today. I'm just gonna chill out. I watched Bad Batch earlier on, and then I'm gonna talk about some silly comedy Star Wars stuff. It's nice. It's a relaxed day.
Yeah. It was good because I was supposed to be busy today, but I'm not. But I was gonna mention next episode, which you probably already know about. You watched last week's Data Link. For those of you that watched last week's 2-hour plus Data Link,
I was sort of dropping in and out near the end, but after I left to go to work, because my car was getting fixed, I had to walk around to work instead of driving. So I was watching on my phone, and signal kept on dropping in and out, which is why I didn't rejoin the call. And it was also cold, and I was trying to keep my hands covered. But yeah,
for those of you that just listened to the podcast, last week we had a 2-hour plus Data Link talking about the Star Wars radio drama. Patrick Cotner came in about halfway through that 2 hours. And I already mentioned what my next pick is going to be. And it's going to be a little bit more burly than what we have today. Did you hear that part? Yeah.
I'm sure I did.
Yeah.
I'm sure I did. What was it?
I'm excited.
I'll
just let you guys know now. So next week, or the next episode, February the 15th, I believe, is kind of somewhat close to my birthday. And I wanted to do something fun and big. And so we're going to be covering the Rise of Skywalker. And there's 2 guests that I mentioned. I haven't talked to them yet, but I want them to join us because they are big fans of Rise of Skywalker. And I know we talked to Jay about possibly doing it because he hates the movie, but I don't know if I want to do that. I mean, it's probably good not to be an echo chamber, but Jay's currently in
Germany, right? Yeah.
Covering a toy show. Must be nice.
Yeah.
Stevie says, good luck on getting your degree.
I'm doing it part-time, so it's going to take me like 6 years, but thank you, Stevie. There might be a new Star Wars movie by the time I've got it.
Oh, cool.
It would be. If Jay wants to come on, I feel like Jay, even though he hates it like that, he's also willing to have a conversation about things that he hates, as opposed to just like spewing vitriol. But I'm off that week, so that is a very good time to have guests, as we have planned these things out.
Yeah. I'll talk to the 2 people I was thinking about. 2 fans that are legitimate, 2 previous guests. And I'm hoping it's good to not be an echo chamber, but our whole thing is to celebrate the love, and we both really, really enjoy the Rise of Skywalker. So why not celebrate it? Why not just go and have some fun with it? Yeah, I'm all for it. 100%. I love that movie. We'll get into it next time, but I can't wait to talk about it.
All right. Before that movie came out, there was a little movie called Solo, a Star Wars movie. A Star Wars story. That would have been funny. And this, I believe, this came out. So if this came out at Comic-Con, this must have come out like the Comic-Con before Solo. And it was the young Han Solo audition tapes. And so who have we got here? We've got Bill Hader. We have got Will Arnett. I'm scanning through the video right now. We have got Melissa McCarthy. We have got
Jodie
Thomas
Foster?
Middleditch.
Oh yeah, Thomas Middleditch.
Thomas Middleditch is there because this been in right around the time of Silicon Valley as well, wouldn't it? Like, so Middleditch and Camille Nanjiani are both in there. Jodie Foster. Jodie Foster's in there, which is amazing, and I love that. Like the behind the scenes crew sort of ask her what her name is, and she's just like, "What?" Like she sort of she plays it very seriously, and she's Jodie fucking Foster. Adam Sandler was a weird one. As I was watching this, I'd forgot that Adam Sandler was in there, just doing his like his shtick that his very much his normal stuff. Camille, which was great. I really liked Camille
in Star Wars.
Yep, he is now in Star Wars. 50 Cent's there. Jeff Goldblum shows up, just leaning into the Jeff Goldblum of it all, which is very good. And there was a bit when he was in costume, and when he even breaks and sort of says it himself, but when he does the line from The Force Awakens, it's true, the Force, the Jedi, all of it, it's like, I mean, that's very close to Harrison's performance of that line, I believe. Like it's pretty good. But otherwise, he's just doing his normal Jeff Goldblum shtick.
Which is what you want.
Yeah, exactly. Bill Hader proving that he is. I mean, Bill Hader also in Star Wars, but proving that he's the biggest fan of the bunch, and just leaning right into it. And then Melissa McCarthy breaking it all at the end.
Yeah, I'm gonna go back a little bit. Derpy Entertainment says that he only watched 5 minutes of Solo and turned it off. They say they'll have to give it another go. Just do it. Like it's my favorite Disney era movie. It's so much fun. It's like they cut out all the fat. It's just lean, fun adventure. And it was our first episode. There's a reason why we picked it as our first episode. It's highly recommended. Okay,
I love it. I think it's a great movie. I've talked about it on Twitter, I think yesterday or the day before. Like, it seemed to be trending along sort of Star Wars Twitter anyway, of like people were doing their rankings again of all the movies and all of that. And I was really pleasantly surprised to see how high Solo was in a lot of those lists.
People seem to be coming easy and fun to watch.
Yeah.
There's no like bullshit controversy around it with like The Last Jedi or Rise of Skywalker. And I think people are just coming to find that, hey, this is kind of just fun
flick. I know at Celebration this year they're doing like a 5-year retrospective, like a celebration of Solo, a Star Wars story.
Great.
So yeah, I'm gonna try and get to that if it's on one of the days that I'm there. It'll be really fun.
Cool. When is that, by the way?
That is so 7th. It starts on the 7th. My birthday, Good Friday.
February 7th?
No. April.
March.
April.
Oh, April 7th. Yeah. Okay,
yeah.
That's in the future.
It's Easter weekend. So it's 7th, 8th, 9th, and the 10th. And I'm going to be the 9th and 10th.
Well, hopefully the week after that is oh shit, we're going to be deep into
We're going to be right. I
was going to say we could do a data link about that, but we might be deep into Mando.
I think I think we are going to be. I mean, I'm sure that between me and Ed we'll be filming a bunch of stuff.
Oh shit, Mando's in a month.
Yeah, Mando's coming up real soon. Like we've got like one more regular episode of each.
I need to prepare myself for that, like mentally and physically.
Yeah,
getting up at 5:30 and watching the Star Wars. We'll be good. Yeah. Bill Hader's BB-8.
Yeah.
I believe the voice of BB. I think he did the post-production voice, and Ben Schwartz did the on-set stuff.
Oh, okay.
Or something. I think that's how it worked.
Yeah.
I don't know. Could I just say that everybody in this Conan clip I would love to see in Star Wars in one way or another. I think if you look at Amy Sedaris,
yeah,
in Mandalorian, I feel like Melissa McCarthy would be great in that role.
Yeah,
I think she's got a similar energy.
She was the one standout that I was like, really, I'm not sure about Melissa McCarthy, but I think done right and in the right sort of thing. So yeah, one of the shows, and yeah, Amy Sedaris is a good example of someone who beforehand, if you'd said Amy Sedaris like in Star Wars, I would have been like, oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
I like Amy Sedaris a lot, but I don't know. I'm sure that they could, but everyone else I think would slot in really nicely.
I wouldn't mind. Like, I don't know if at this point we can have it happen, but like if Jeff Goldblum was an Imperial officer and played it completely dramatic, like would we still be able to see Jeff Goldblum as dramatic?
I mean, I think it's whether or not Jeff Goldblum remembers how to do dramatic, because for the last 10-15 years he's only done his bit, but he could do it. Like he had legit acting chops. Yeah, he can be. He's really good when he wants to be. If not, like, I mean, yeah, because otherwise he's just gonna do his Marvel role, isn't he? Again, otherwise, like,
yeah.
Which I don't want to see it again because we've got it. Yeah, I think he could. I think he could play it serious. And yeah,
Jodie Foster would be good.
Jodie Foster would be great.
Also, I think an Imperial officer.
Imperial officer, an admiral of some sort, maybe, or like a rebel military leader, like New Republic, like a senator, maybe something like that. I think she'd be really, really good.
Could see her in Andor.
I could see Jodie Foster in Andor as well. I think her having a scene with Stellan Skarsgård would be pretty amazing.
Yeah,
I'm sure that they've been in a film together. Like Stellan's been in everything, so.
And I feel like he would say something like Thomas Middleditch and Bill Hader would be droids, but looking at what Kumail did in Obi-Wan, like, I mean, just give them anything. Have you seen Barry?
I haven't. No, I keep on meaning to, because again, like Bill Hader's meant to be great in it. Yeah,
Bill Hader, who like directs episodes, he like directs the episodes with like action in it. Bill Hader, I've known him for however many years doing SNL and doing comedic roles and doing all this stuff.
Yeah.
When I watch Barry, it doesn't feel like Bill Hader. Like it is Bill Hader, but I'm like, this is definitely a role.
Yeah. I like it when actors do that sort of thing.
Barry is a really easy show to watch. I think it's like 10 episode seasons and they're like a half hour.
Yeah, they've just done about 3, is it? Season 3's relatively recent.
Season 3 is done, I think. Has there been 2 seasons of Barry? I don't know. But they just, once you watch one, you're like, well, I gotta watch the next one, and it just goes. It's one of those shows. It's like Robert Kirkman. It's like reading Invincible. It literally, like, when you're done, you're like, oh, okay, I guess I'll just start up the next one.
Because it's HBO, I have to acquire those shows in a different way than normal. But yeah,
that one's worth doing it. I'm just letting you know that one's worth doing it.
It's just one of those things that because it's one of those, it's like it takes like a Last of Us event TV sort of thing for me to go, oh yeah, I need to remember to do that to get that show.
It reminds me of Breaking Bad, but kind of comedic. Like it's not like
just because of the setting. Like I think, isn't it? Because of him being a struggling actor.
No, he's an assassin.
Yeah. But
he's 100% an assassin.
Okay.
And he's hiding from bad guys and ends up in an improv class,
right?
Or an acting class.
That sets up,
and that opens his eyes to what he really wants to do, but he's not good at it.
Okay.
So it's mostly him being this assassin, and the shit that goes down in the show is like, it can only be like HBO Max. Like it's like super violent, but it's like super engaging, and it's like one of my favorite shows. Like I don't watch TV. Like I'll watch Star Wars shows and I'll watch old shit that like I'm watching Night Court. Like I'm excited to watch Night Court.
I was gonna say,
and we've been watching Frasier.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's like 3 episodes of Night Court, and I've watched them all, and they're totally bad and totally stupid, but I am fucking just enjoying Night Court.
Comfort.
It's like,
Yeah.
because
Comfort.
I sit down and I want to just like, but Barry, watch Barry,
All right.
and then let's get Bill Hader in
a Star Wars.
In a Star Wars more proper.
Mm-hmm. So
I think
we mentioned Bill Hader kind of already being in there, and we've mentioned how Thomas Middleditch is in this, and then in between the two of those is Ben Schwartz. So have you seen Middleditch and Schwartz on Netflix? Their sketch.
I watched one of them.
Okay, because that's great, and that shows the I mean, yeah, all right, it's all comedy, but that shows some of the range and some of the different stuff that Thomas Middleditch can do on the fly, which is great, and it makes me go, I'd like to see him doing some dramatic roles.
Yeah, I could see that. There's the episode of Conan O'Brien Needs a Friend, where Middleditch and Schwartz are on it. Yeah. I've listened to the episode twice. It's so goddamn funny.
They're brilliant.
Yeah, I could see how they could be annoying to people. Yeah. I could see how it could get old real fast. But if you get a chance, if you like Conan O'Brien, check out Conan O'Brien Needs a Friend podcast with Middleditch and Schwartz, because it's goddamn, they're so quick. Yeah, I feel bad for Conan in it because they're so quick. It's like I don't know how I would be able to hang out with those guys.
No, it's exhausting. But and that's the thing. That's what impresses me the most about their sketch show, is that they're so quick to roll off of the next thing and into the next thing. But then I think there'd be times where I'd be like, I could do that. Like I can have a back and forth with people in a similar sort of way, and people are struggling to keep up. But then it's remembering a fine detail about something and then looping back around to it later in the sketch. It's like, wow, that's very clever. That's like the real sort of guttural stuff comes from there. Yeah.
I could see them as a pair of droids.
Yeah.
Or if you do a Foden bead, sort of bring back that alien.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, that'd be really cool. The commentators.
Like I could like have them return as something. Ben Schwartz was just on a Bad Batch, right?
Yeah, last week's Bad Batch. In a pod race similar sort of thing as a droid. So, you know, there's a chance. I'm sure that Middleditch will get his moment. He seems like he probably won it.
Yeah, I feel like droids, like Tack and Bink. Is that what? It, no,
Tag and Bink. Tag and Bink. They'd be great. Tag and Bink. Brilliant.
That'd be a fucking great,
fun little animated 6-episode thing. Each episode is like tied closer to one of the movies. Hell, make it 9. Do all 9. And
let's hashtag it.
Hashtag Tag and Bink ride again.
All right.
Yeah, let's do it. Who else have we got in here?
50 Cent.
Will Arnett. Again, he
would be tough to see in Star Wars. Because he's so Will Arnett.
Yeah. But when obviously it's hard to take him seriously when he's trying to be serious, but he does have the voice to do it. Like he can go sort of dark and moody when he wants to. I'm sure he's done some like dramatic roles and stuff in the past.
I know,
but
he should be a helmeted character. He should be a Mandalorian.
Yeah,
like that voice coming out through the Mandalorian speaker box, it would be great.
You watch in like a month's time, we're gonna hear Will Arnett as like Bo-Katan's right-hand man.
Does he have any ties? With Star Wars or Filoni or Favreau? I don't think he's been in any Favreau stuff, but I'm sure they've crossed over in circles.
Yeah, I'm sure he's got something. He's done enough animation. Like he's been voices in plenty of animation. So I'm sure that there's some people in the crew that all sort of tie him together. He's always around. Melissa McCarthy mentioned. Middleditch.
I mean, I'd be fine if she was Amy Sedaris' sister, or like I feel like they have this same energy.
Yeah. I mean, in this, it's great because she has no idea about any Star Wars, or she's heard some things. She's like, yeah, I've seen one of them, maybe like half of it. And then she's trying to turn it into a straight up comedy. So she's like her bit in this is to go through and like, oh, I'm just gonna change words because that's funny and people will get a laugh out of it. She's trying to workshop it like it's a comedy, which is great. Jodie Foster we've mentioned. Adam Sandler, I don't know. Adam Sandler would be hard to see in a Star Wars. I know that between like Uncut Gems and stuff like that, he's got the chops for it, but it's still Adam Sandler, and he's such a distinct face and look and voice. Like that one might pull me out of it a bit.
Yeah, but let's say we have to put him in something.
Okay. All right. All of these guys are getting roles, but where is he going? Droid's too easy. Alien, like fun, goofy alien. A Gungan.
Oh shit, a Gungan. I mean, if he's gonna do the voice, if he's gonna do the bit,
if he's Jar Jar's cousin.
Yeah, I think I'm on board with that just because I want to see more Gungans. I don't know why they don't just put Gungans in the background of stuff. Like, why is a Gungan not a background alien?
They're in the books. They in that similar sort of role, but yeah, no, I agree with you.
I mean, this is what I'm saying. Mandalorian season 3.
I think it depends on time frame though, doesn't it? Really, because they seem quite isolationist prequel era.
Make him a Gungan boss.
Oh yeah,
he doesn't have to do the bit. Have him be like a Boss Nass, and he can do the sort of slow Adam Sandler talk.
The
serious version.
Yeah.
But he could still add a couple of Misas in there and Yusas, and that's it. I'm thinking like instead of Boss Nass, it's Boss,
Madison. Gilmore. Yeah.
Do it. I'm all for it. Because I feel like the Gungans need to be brought back into the fold somehow. Maybe thriving on Naboo.
I was gonna say, and they seem to be sort of, well, they were sort of integrated into society by the end of the Clone Wars, and then we don't really have much of an idea of what Palpatine did with them once he took back over Naboo, because it's his home world. I'm sure he had plans for that place.
Yeah.
If the special editions are to be believed, they are free at the end. Like they're climbing up on the towers and they're in Theed again. So
yeah.
And then in the Aftermath book, Jar Jar's a sad clown trying to entertain children by the fountain. But he could have had a redemption after that. New Republic era, they could have bounced back. They could have been integrated into the galaxy some more. So be nice to see.
I don't know why they haven't. I mean, I know why, but
yeah,
it doesn't need to be Jar Jar, but let's bring Gungans back
as a species. Yeah, not all.
Hashtag let's bring Gungans back.
So this week's episode of Bad Batch they were on Kashyyyk and there was some Trandoshans, and it's like I like the acknowledgement of the lore of Trandoshans not liking Wookiees and them being slavers and things like that. That's been established for years. But not every time we see Trandoshans do they have to be slavers. That it just bugged me, and I was like, okay, I get it. For this story, it's fine, but every time that we see Trandoshans, unless it's the High Republic where there's a really cool Jedi Master Trandoshan, there's always slavers, and they are always hunting Wookiees, and it's like
Jawas are always junk traders.
Yeah,
it's that.
Yeah, not all Trandoshans. Let's get that going as well. Yeah. Camille, it'd be hard to recast him now. He's well established.
And he did great.
He's in there, and I'd like to see him come back. I'd like to see him and Ice Cube's son come back. And I think a part of that Rebel crew would be 50 Cent. I think he could do something in that Rebel faction there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Stevie mentioned Ron Howard is the connection with Will Arnett.
Let's put him in Solo too.
Have him take up the role of Boshek.
Okay.
Yeah?
Yep.
Will Arnett as Boshek? I'm into it.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah. 50 Cent could be a rebel in the early days of the rebellion. I think that'd be kind of cool. Yeah, he could be a pilot.
Rebel pilot.
Jeff Goldblum we've mentioned. And then we're back to Will Arnett again, and Melissa McCarthy tearing it down. Where would you put Conan O'Brien himself? In the writers' room?
Conan is somewhat canon, I guess. His name is canon.
Yeah.
You know about that? Yeah.
It rings a bell.
So on Conan's show, he had George Lucas on as a guest and was saying that he wanted a character named Conan, and that they did the research, and Admiral Mahdi did not have a first name. And George Lucas on the show officially canonized Mahdi's first name is Conan.
I'm going to have a look and see what Wikipedia says about that right now.
Stevie says Conan would be a good scrawny Wookiee. I think that would be terrific if you could somehow work in the string dance. That would be great.
Pretty good.
Jeremy Kelly says that Conan would be a good rebel general.
Yeah, like alongside like General Maydean or something.
Yeah.
One of those guys in that briefing room.
Definitely. I mean, do like a makeup on him, like do like a really like, because he's so tall and slender.
Yeah,
I think he would be a really interesting. I don't know if he can act without doing bits.
I mean,
Gungan, make him a Gungan with Sandler.
Yeah,
and then have him do bits.
Just have like, because you know, like it looks like a boss council, doesn't it, when they're in Otogunga? Like have them all just in there somewhere. Yeah. But yeah, on Wikipedia it is official. It is canon. Conan Antonio Motti.
That's great.
Does not look like an Antonio.
No, and I don't even know if that's a name in Star Wars, but I mean, middle names or whatever.
Yeah.
I feel like if you have Adam Sandler as a Boss Nass type of Gungan, and Conan could be like the Twi'lek from Book of Boba Fett, like this kind of smarmy sort of assistant.
Yeah.
Like I could see that. I think that would be
his major domo. So yeah.
I wonder if Conan's been in any Star Wars animated stuff. I feel like he was.
I don't know why this is popping into the top of my head. Is Star Wars Resistance potentially?
That's what I was thinking too.
Yeah, I don't know why it's in my head that he was in Resistance, but maybe.
I do not know.
Yeah.
Oh, but I did find a video of Conan O'Brien and Jordan Schlansky visiting Lucasfilm.
I mean, we know he's a fan.
Fun.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's just there. There's video of him dressed as Lobot. So he might have to come back to the Conan well.
I mean, I'm sure that at some point, if this all goes long enough and if they want to do it, all of these guys would be able to get a shot.
Yeah.
There'd be a few of them that I think would be outliers because they're almost too big for it. And I'm not even thinking Jodie Foster. I'm thinking like your Adam Sandlers and your Jeff Goldblums would be the harder ones to get in there because I feel like because they're pop culture. Like Jodie Foster is huge as an actress, but not in like the pop culture sphere where it's just like Jeff Goldblum's a meme. Adam Sandler is a joke person sort of thing. Like so it's harder to get them in there without it pulling them out.
I feel Foster, like Taika Waititi. Would work with Goldblum again, would be able to get him in there.
Yeah, that's a great connection.
I don't know. I have no idea what his movie's going to be like.
No, like we haven't had anything since that initial like logo drop, which I loved the sort of the font style that they went with on that.
Yeah, it's like Land of the Giants.
Yeah, but Taika keeps himself so busy that he's like a Donald Glover type, where it's just like, it's well and good announcing this stuff, and it's all well and good saying that you're willing to do it, but like, remember, don't forget about it. Don't book yourself so far.
Has anything since that day come to pass?
I don't think so.
Maybe a Bad Batch.
Like a Bad Batch. Some of the live action stuff probably, or like
Andor, but they were already still kind of going. But like the whole Rogue Squadron and Taika's movie and that stuff, it's like
Yeah.
Come on,
What
Star Wars. I want
just
a
stop.
movie.
I want a movie. I really want a movie. That'd be great.
And then there's some like Hollywood Reporters, Vanity Fair, someone's teasing the return of Rey.
I think it's all of it that I
rumor, and
I put a thing up the other day because like so many things would be like news, blah 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 blah, and I'm like, that's not news. That's an interview that you did with a performer who said, yeah, I'd be down. Like, and I think fair play to her for sort of saying, yeah, cool, I'd be interested. She gave a great answer when it came to like the parentage question. She seems like she's come away from it. She's had a bit of time. She's had a breather. And I think her words were, I'm a working actress and I don't have a job right now. So if they want to talk to me, I'm definitely up for taking a phone call. Like, that's not saying I'm eager to come back. I definitely want to come back. It's like, if the story's right and if it all was to work out, then I wouldn't be opposed to it. So then it's non-news, but
then wasn't there a press release or something about Damon Lindelof doing a post episode 9 film?
All the stuff that we've heard recently has been about that one. Like, that's been the thing where it's like it would focus on other characters, but some people from the sequel trilogy might pop in and things like that. So that would be a place for her. If she, I mean, maybe
could episode 10 happen and not be
Skywalker? I don't know. I don't know if they'd want to, or if they just want to distance themselves from it. You could go one of two ways. You either distance yourself from it because you don't want the association with that anymore, or you keep numbering because you want that on a business side of things. Like, you want that recognition. Yeah, you want the recognition.
I want that to be the timeline.
Yeah.
Because the shows are good. We like the shows, but
they're great.
You have to figure out where they stick in the timeline. I just want a Star Wars movie. I want to go to a movie theater. I want to sit down and see an opening crawl.
I feel like we've said it for the last 2-3 years, or last 2-3 celebrations, but this year, like, come on, guys, like, this year, I'm going, so you're allowed to now. Yeah, just announce something. Just give us a firm, this is in production. This is happening. This is next. Not this is coming down the line.
And that's not like Skeleton Crew. And I mean, I'm excited about Skeleton Crew because I have no idea what it is. So new Star Wars is great. I'm hoping, I don't know if they said when it takes place. Is it a High Republic thing?
No, it's that's in the same era as, or same time frame as like Ahsoka and the Mandoverse like stuff.
At least it's new. It's all characters we don't know.
That's all like New Republic. Exactly.
That's a forward-moving story. It has nothing to do with
characters we don't know in a location that we don't know as well. They've said that, like, that it's out there. It's different and it's further away from everything. So that's cool. But there's, I mean,
kind of want. You know what? The reason why I want episode 10 is because it means they can play in that era after
they don't have 30 years. They've got infinite.
They're not stuck in the same 9 episodes.
That was back in the day. That was the promise of the New Jedi Order books, because they were like 27 years ahead, which, you know, we're already further ahead than that in movies now. But like, and that was the furthest forward that they'd ever gone, and that it was like everything moving forward from that is completely brand new and open. There's no catching up to anything at any point. And then Star Wars Legacy, the John Ostrander, Jern Dursuma comics that they did with Cade Skywalker and things like that. That was 100 years in the future. Good stuff. I don't have anything else about the sketches. Do you have anything?
It was funny.
It's fun. It's fun, like funny 6-minute late night sketch. It's exactly how it played. I enjoy it.
Yeah, me too.
Good. I think we could probably wrap up, couldn't we?
You want to wrap up? Yeah.
I mean, I don't have anything else.
It's probably nice for you not to have to like
run. Yeah.
To work, especially last week. And again, if you haven't listened to or watched last week's Data Link, check it out. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It is a bit long, but
Patrick's just a good hang. He's a good hang on the podcast. He gets it. He gets the vibe of the show, and we always like having Patrick on.
Yeah. And we're going to have him on again.
Definitely.
We discussed that maybe in the near future, if we can set up him and Tony Thaxton, because I want Tony Thaxton on the show. He hasn't been on the show.
Yeah.
But Tony has mentioned that he loves the DVD documentaries.
Yes.
And I think the beginning would be a great time to bring both them on.
Yeah, because Patrick almost begged to be on for that as well, didn't he? So
yeah.
Yeah, I think that'd be a great twofer with those two. We'll try, and I think Patrick, that was his other thing, is he requested a week that I'm off so that he doesn't have to get up at stupid o'clock in the morning, which is totally fair. We've been very lucky with a lot of the West Coast guests that we've had, like of them like wanting and willing to get up early, but like we never expected.
Silver and Jacob were, I think, two of them.
Yeah, and they were both like, "Yeah, no, I'm cool with getting up early." It's a little bit easier, I think, during a TV series because a lot of those guys are going to be getting up early to watch it anyway.
Right.
But for these other bits and bobs, it's like, yeah, if you don't have to get up and do any homework in the morning, it's really helpful. Yeah.
Yeah. Watching the episode 1 doc.
Yeah. That's a night before job.
Yeah.
But I'm looking forward to it when we do get there.
Cool.
So we will not be back.
I deleted my banner.
We will not be back with live action Star Wars next week, but we will be back in 2 weeks' time. Fingers crossed, I should be talking about The Rise of Skywalker, which is our first dive into the sequel trilogy.
Yeah, we will be talking about that.
We will be talking about The Rise of Skywalker in 2 weeks' time. So whether you love it, you hate it, or you just think it's a Star Wars movie, come and join us. Come join the conversation.
And we will have a guest or guest. I'm gonna keep trying. Yeah, and we'll get
time might be a little bit different again because we're gonna have guests on, and I don't have to rush anywhere. So time will probably be a little bit different.
Like a 9 o'clock start time or a.
But pay attention to all the socials, Live Action SW, Twitter, Instagram, wherever you frequent, we're there. And yeah, we'll be around for that. But next week, don't forget to come and join us over on Invincipod. You can get it on all your podcast places. But join us here. Join us live. It'll be fun.
Yeah. Watch Invincible.
Watch Invincible.
It'll be real easy watch.
It's great.
It might get never mind. Might get a little gross, but
it's worth it.
Oh, I love watching those reactions to episode 1. Because if you don't know anything about Invincible, you don't think it's going to get like that. But fans of Invincible were waiting for stuff like that.
Yep. We knew it was coming. We knew the Ryan Otley was there.
Sure did. Wow.
Oh yeah. I mean, I'd love to get Ryan Otley on an Invincible episode.
Yeah, we should look into guests.
We should. We've not done it.
There's so many fans of the show out there.
Yeah, there are. All right. We'll have a look. Probably not for next week, but for the season.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Until 2 weeks' time on Live Action or next week on Invincipod, don't give in to hate.
Celebrate the love.
Punch it.